Hi, call me Tara J on TikTok and here on YouTube and on Instagram. And for those of you who are just finding my page, I am on a journey to be fit by 50 in my adult life. I've never been under 200 pounds, and I've got until April of 2022 to get there, and I am currently 210 pounds. Very exciting, but I'm doing a lot of bob and weave, up a couple, down a couple, up a couple, down a couple. I don't know, just body chemistry, a little self-sabotage, maybe getting a little too many carbs here and there. But I'm on track. I'm doing well, and it's probably just natural fluctuations in the body and that I'm overthinking too much. I'm trying to add a little more time at the gym. So now instead of just weightlifting, which I prefer weightlifting, more bang for your buck, but I am also doing some cardio now because it's a good fat burner, and I'm wearing a waist trainer. But, I'm looking pretty good. I mean, this is who I am, right? This is more of a full-length video. I don't think I've ever done that. This is a Shein shirt. It's okay. It's nice to not be in plus size, though, which is a first for me. And it's not that I want to degrade or shame anyone in plus size. Plus size is wonderful if that's where you are. I just chose not to be there anymore, and I'm excited to not be there anymore. So I haven't been great about updating here, and I apologize. My doctor's appointments are less frequent now, so my ability to remember to do this and update this has been not so great. So here I am. What is it? So I started in March and now it's October. So 7 months. I'm not great at keeping track of how much weight exactly I've lost, but I started at like 290 and now, so what is it, 80 pounds? It's great. I'm using a medication called Saxenda only for the last 60 pounds. 50 pounds. The last 50 pounds are Saxenda. I get the numbers, they go back and forth, but I'm happy with my progress. I love talking about Saxenda. I don't sell it. I don't get sponsored by them. They don't do anything for me except make my life better. But I do like to educate and be here and to discuss my journey and the things I do, the changes I make. But one of the things I had promised was to be super real. And, I kind of started reflecting lately. And I wanted to share a reflection, something that I had reflected upon. And I was thinking about how many times in my life people who love me actually made me feel ashamed of who I am. And it's a big part of who I grew to be, right? Grew and grew and grew. No. I digress. So anyway, I had a memory. So I've noticed that I've been really into dresses. I just like the way they look. I feel comfortable in them. Maybe they make me feel pretty. I don't know. And as I warned on TikTok, if you know me in my real life, please pretend you don't. But I was thinking about, I wonder what's making me so interested in dresses all of a sudden. And then I had a memory. 5-year-old me wanting this really pretty dress at this store called Julie's. And my mother saying to me, well, Tara, if you lose weight, I'll buy you all sorts of pretty dresses. How about that? And, I mean, how do you tell a 5-year-old they need to go on a diet? And, when I think about that, and you would say that's probably something that started my road down a bad relationship with food. Makes sense, right? But I'd like to say that was the first diet, or the first time a diet was brought up to me at 5. It wasn't. My mother had me on a diet when I was 3, maybe 4. Yeah. I gotta tell more of these stories because they're crazy. My parents were constantly putting me on diets, which, when you think about it, is ridiculous. First of all, they controlled everything I put in my mouth. So if weight was related to what I was eating, then it was their fault to begin with. But they weren't feeding me unhealthy. So, and they were thin, relatively, and my sister was thin, so why was I fat? Well, if we really want to get into it, it's because obesity is a chronic disease, and I was born with it. I mean, that's just the way it goes. I was fat my entire life. I was born fat. I stayed fat. It's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. It's who I am. But here's another good story. I remember being 4 years old or 3 years old and carpooling with some neighbors to nursery school. The parents had a carpool. And the parent who picked us up from school, it was their job to bring a snack. Seems fair. Kids get out of school, they want a snack, they're hungry. Kids are always hungry. I remember all the people in my carpool. There was Kira, and there was Andrew, and there was Marcy. All people I went to school with my entire life after this. So I remember all this. And I remember, in particular, one mom bringing like cookies, like great, delicious looking cookies. And as she passed a package to Andrew, and she passed a package to Marcy and to her own daughter, I was like, oh yes, I'm going to get these delicious cookies. And then she handed me a bag with carrots and celery. Carrots and celery. And said, your mom said you're on a diet and you can't have cookies. So she gave me some carrots and celery to give you. I mean, to me, that's almost abusive, right? But it's certainly telling as to my relationship with food, and something I'm trying to acknowledge so that I can move past. And I'm not angry at my mother. Well, I mean, not for that specifically. My mother gives me plenty of reasons to be angry at her, honestly. But my point in bringing this up was that I had wanted to talk about some of the reasons why I think my relationship with food is so poor. I do believe that obesity comes from a disease. I really do. But I also believe that because of this, and because of our inability to lose weight and to keep weight off, it spirals and it becomes not just about a physiological issue, but an emotional issue. And if you go back and you look at your past and you try and figure out why your relationship with food is so messed up, there's usually things in your past that you can go, and it's like an aha moment, right? That memory was an aha moment for me. And then I was talking to my kids recently about they should eat healthier and they shouldn't have so much junk and blah, blah, blah. And my son, because he's so over analytical and has so much anxiety, I started catching him, 10 years old, weighing himself every day. And I said, okay, you eat what you want to eat. You know what? I'd love healthy foods fuel our body. Junk foods make our emotions feel good. But you have to make the right decisions for you. And if you want a brownie, eat a brownie, because I'm not going to give him the same complexes that I was given. Oh, and my stories don't stop there. My father wasn't much better when it came to my weight. But I'll save that story, or those stories, for another day. Anyway, if you're on TikTok, follow me. Call me Tara J. I'm on Instagram and here on YouTube. Definitely give me a follow. If you know anybody who could use some support in a weight loss journey, or who just wants to support me, then share my video with them. And until next time, you guys have a splendid day and happy vibes to you all. Meet me at a spot.